a calamitous situation there, and one that is not only confined to the region, to Myanmar, but also has resonance throughout the quote-unquote Muslim or Islamic world. They are looking to see what the U.S. and other countries that are very much concerned with the well-being of refugees in other parts of the world that don't have, a Muslim minority status to them, how they're dealing with the Muslim minority in Myanmar. And so you've had this global response, and even now the Trump administration, I believe in response to calls for members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, are imposing sanctions on those military leaders in Myanmar that probably are most responsible for the human rights abuses against the Rohingya refugees.
What about the U.S. and the Trump policy and how we are taking in people here?
The Trump policy seems to be, let's help keep those refugees and migrants as close to their home country as possible. The whole idea of being a refugee is to escape from lethality, from conflict and the like. It's not to leave for a different part of the world, simply to start a new life there. So the idea, optimally, is to get refugees back to their home country, back to their societies, back where their own roots are once the conflict is ended. We'll always have an open-door policy for a certain number of people here in the United States, but as we saw from the election results in 2016, there are many Americans who would like us to revise our immigration policies and not feel like we're being overwhelmed by people who are having difficulty assimilating into American cities and towns.
What can we look forward to in 2018?
Probably more of the same, unfortunately. As long as we have the kind of military crises that we've seen in Syria and in Iraq of the last half-decade, now those have largely worked out towards the better, given the military campaigns by the Trump administration, the Kurds and our Arab allies in eastern Syria and northern Iraq, where we've largely destroyed the so-called Islamic State Caliphate. The Russians have done a very good job of squashing the kind of problems that they saw in western Syria. But we're going to have wars. We're going to have conflicts. This is what happens in the human condition. The more we minimize them, the fewer refugee problems that we have. But as long as you have economic dislocation as a result of globalization, as a result of corruption and the like, in a whole host of countries, people will naturally go to where there's economic opportunity and where there's transportation available, technology to let you know what's available, and criminals who run human trafficking networks to get you there, even at great risk. People will sacrifice everything they have for a better life for themselves and for their children.